The lighting isn't very good. One second. Alrighty. All right, so let's go through exactly what we've accomplished. As by Kathryn Corporation, a 501c3, aka Human Rights Works by Kathryn Elizabeth Peebles Grimes, and the opening of Kathryn Elizabeth University for merchantry. The university aspect is going to be offering a master's in merchantry. This is a global school that focuses strictly on entering the workforce as a tradesman, dealing with global interactions and also understanding global human rights laws as they pertain to trade. Let's go through a little bit of the human rights by Kathryn. As we've said before, all of the branches that stem from this philanthropy and nonprofit organization are to keep the members and those that need to be anonymous. The face of the victims of war crimes, as per Title 18, Chapter 118, is me, and the voice is also thereof. We have run into a few really good situations. We've hit about, on account day, a 9.5 million, and that was within our first 2 months. As it goes for our United States approval, which has us as a 501c3 and as a education and apprenticeship center or institution. Yes, I am the first woman to be granted by the state of Texas the right to teach or preach, gather on an institutional level. We are approved under my name, which is Kathryn Elizabeth Peebles Grimes, and everything stems thereof. As it goes for our education, we are focused on human rights, mathematics, algorithms pertaining to how to invent better ways to decrease human labor. Architecture, engineering, and human behavior are just a few things we're going to stem on in global human rights. Our date of approval from both the Texas state and United States is 06/16/2025. We are opening the university under Thinkific. If you go to your messages, let me see if I can go ahead and enter this into the chat. There we go. That will go through a little bit of what I'm going to touch on. First, let's get out of the way for our secretary and minute reasons, financials. To cover, basically, no, we have not exceeded our assets in any of our expenses. We are looking at donations being on the slimmer side due to a few startup problems when it came to the site Shopify. We're going to be moving a lot of this, or not all of it, to Thinkific, where you can check out, and it will be actually hand developed by myself and those volunteers or members of thereof. Now, let's see. Reading materials as it goes for those when it comes to admissions. Excuse the banging. It's very rude. Yes. Also, the reading materials are going to come directly from the archive, which is a donation from the United States of America. This holds a lot of the reading materials that we will need and go over, including Title 18, the Geneva Conventions. It goes through even, we'll touch on some things in the learning stages, say the Women's Protection Act. For getting your master's, it's going to be the standard 36 hours required, but the admissions process is going to be slightly different. Admissions will accept those with professional means, meaning that all of those professional experience or thereof will be accepted into getting their master's of merchantry. We have a global synchronization, which is actually moving to look a lot like world peace here. Merchantry is the one word globally that right now we can all in the same globe or earth say means the one thing: training to be a merchant. Merchants have been around and in the eye of the globe for, say, since the 1720s. These are people who are dedicated to global trade, and most often either they trade knowledge, it could be items like materials, silk versus fur. This is the way that the world has therefore stayed and connected and being in one. All right. So, for example, the courses that are going to be on for getting your master's are going to be global trade, standards of business, global wartime congeniality, basics of how to professionally speak globally in times of war, global wartime human civilization protections. So we'll go through what kinds of protections there are for trade areas, what it means to actually be in a trade area, and things like this. As I said on that link, you'll see that that publication is currently in edit, and we'll go through all of these things too. All right, so the arts aspect and donations, right now, the assets remain the same as they were upon initiation. And if you did have any of your donations returned, please note that this organization was unaware that there was any missing information that entitled a company that we trusted to do so. And please, and thank you, do try to resend. As I said, the university will be held on the Thinkific and personally developed. The human rights platforms and the works by Kathryn and the other learning platforms are hindered to keeping an eye for everyone from ages 12, say, to 102. So we'll go through things like perception. We'll even touch on some things like that cause local unrest, say, learning to become more emotionally intelligent is something we're working on. Learning that one perception is not always the right one. Now, human rights by Kathryn and company, or corporations, I'm sorry, because we are approved corporations franchise, does fully support those victimized by war crimes under Title 18, Chapter 118. We work on a global synchrony to help and advocate all those in perilous situations to get out. Let's see a few statistics to throw at you. 1 in 2,000 people will die without their human rights, their basic human rights. And according to the code of the victims that we propose to the board, to the United States Congress, Senate, and to Chief, also, we propose to the Texas state that our university also be considered a stepping stone for those in peril and those out. We would like to provide and use donations to completely provide those who are interested and dedicated to getting their master's in merchantry their masters and get them a head start in a life where they can remain out of peril. If they are in peril, then we do want to continue to provide those services, whether it be via online or thereof. Again, we'll go through, there's different trainings to really educate what's the difference between domestic and international human rights. What exactly declares something a grave breach of Geneva Conventions. So when it comes to our advocacy, which will be part of the bylaws, we are for victim stepping out of perilous situations. We do not focus on the penalties, perjuries of the criminals. We focus on remaining dedicated to providing and developing human civilization, being a humane organization, and working with those who will help make it a better place. So thank you to those who do follow through. We have a lot of our safety and things like that do pertain to those protected also under Title 118. And in no way are we moving to perjurize any of those who have broken or break the Title 18. What we are willing to do is advocate and educate as necessary for those in perilous situations to be out of them. So right now we're looking at on multiple platforms, we're looking at doing emotional intelligence and perception educations. These all pertain to those around the globe. And as I said, anonymity, that's said right, is of the essence. About 25% of those people you see cross along the bottom of the TikToks are usually the perpetrators, or the attackers for those who are anonymous. So also, let's keep that in mind when you see that you cannot comment or anything like that. There's good reason. And not all those who comment are perpetrators or attackers either. But we do want to make sure that we keep on track. All right, then. For example, one of the scientific theories that we'll be working on has a lot to do with specific gravity. How much can one material technically, magnetically get along with? Is there a way to lighten a load or place something that helps almost, right, levitate that load? And yes, it is possible. We have concluded on that algorithm. which will completely designates what material needs to be placed underneath as a rod to levitate or labor the other material on top. So as I said, a lot of these things all tie in to creating a Master Scholar Immersion tree. And I'm excited to be offering that program. We do and are looking for donors when it comes to office space, classroom space, room and board, because we would like to move this into a more hands-on experience as a country, a state, and globe. So the donations that we get will be strictly for functionalities and for advocating the release of those in peril. Again, congratulations. There was a minister ahead that contacted saying, please thank your local society and community for supporting you. One of the videos touched on some global means, and they were able to set 28 persons to stepping out into life again. So that is great news to hear that one of our education videos worldwide helped those 28. Now, that is not the only influence we're making, but these are examples of how and what we're touching on. All right, then. Let's see. Minute-wise, we have the website development in progress. We have the donation site currently up on PayPal. You'll see the link by clicking on the Medium's publishing site there. That's currently in edit, but will close in 7 days' time. And anything about me you can also get from the Longshoreman's Daughter. I am a longshoreman's daughter, a federal military, yes, brat. I am also a merchant and have been that way since I was born. So I am here in the DFW location, which is one of the biggest international ports or ports that we have. When it comes to trade and port congeniality, we will also be going through what's expected and how civilization can properly develop to become more of a cohesive unit when in these areas of trade. All right, so I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for tuning in, Congress, Senate, Chief if necessary. I appreciate your support, and so does everyone that I stand for. Thank you.